Well, hello and welcome. I'm Sue Britz,
And I'm Tina Lookbakk. Welcome to Retired.
the podcast where we talk about what life is like when we put on new tread, new wheels that move us to our next adventure. And
Okay,
I have to
wait.
say, hang on, no,
Ah!
your energy is so different than mine right now.
Yeah,
I am,
I think it
and
is.
it's because of something. So take it from there,
Oh,
Tina.
well, I just wanted to say, and it was a pun. That's why I got extra excited. Like I am squealing with excitement because Sharon's here with us.
All right, yes, our friend Sharon. So we don't even say colleague anymore. Just our friend
Sharon.
Sharon's here.
I feel so special, you guys. I really do. Thank you so much.
And we're
Well, you're
also
special.
we want to, we're going to check in on her from the teacher perspective, but mostly from the friend perspective.
Well, obviously, it's a friend perspective. That's why you're here. So,
Yeah.
Sharon,
Yes.
I had to have you back for all kinds of reasons. This is just kind of an excuse because for sure we'll get to see each other. So, you got to fill us in. What month do you remember? Was it June that we had you on first a year ago, or was it more in the summer?
I think it was a March or April. It was during my spring break, and I had about 10 weeks left. And
Okay,
then I
that's right.
came back with Jennifer, who had just retired, who had decided during the summer to retire. Yeah, it's been a year.
So, here you are. And it is officially what, 1 year and 2 weeks since the official day
Yeah.
of retirement. And what is the first thing that comes to your mind if you had to say what is the biggest takeaway from this year? What would it be?
Grateful, I think.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
so grateful for being able to retire. That's really
Wow.
it's just been such a blessing. It's been so positive and yeah.
Okay, I'm going to interject here. Grateful, yes, and I think grateful also to finally get that your paycheck, your benefits check in order. Didn't it take like a whole friggin' year?
Oh, that's right.
And actually I think I was one of the lucky ones. There were 20 of us that retired. Some are still dealing with it. I opened up a Facebook community group for retired DJ USD people because people weren't talking about it. I wanted to see who else was affected and there was no Facebook group yet. So um yeah, they're processing people. I think mine was done around March, finished around March, but I think I was a squeaky wheel.
Yeah, squeaky wheel that took almost a whole year.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And how much going into the office did you have to do, or could you just email and phone call?
I emailed a lot to the district, but the way the system works is they actually send information, your years of service and your salary to the Yolo County Office of Ed. Those are the people that then in
Mm.
turn send the information to STRS. And so, but if you go to YCOE in Woodland, which I did, their policy is not to talk to employees. So you can't get somebody, you can't get an email, a contact person. It is
No
the weirdest
humans.
thing. Um, and you're just like, I was the employee. You should be, serving me. So
Oh,
then you go, okay, well then you go back to STRS and you say, what do they have now currently as my last salary and my years? And it was complicated by the fact that we got a retro raise, but it was retro only to January. So they had to figure that out. They had to do the math on that. For me, it took 5 minutes to figure that out. For them, it took 9 months. I don't know why. But
Right?
there was also a lot of turnover at DJUSD. So with some of the payroll people, the head fiscal person. So
oh, like
I think
office
it was
people.
a perfect storm of problems. But they didn't learn anything from the year before because there were still people dealing who had retired in 2023. So
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
hold it. Again, I'm going to interject here. I'm sorry, but um couldn't you just resolve all of this, simplify the whole thing, and just have a regular cost of living increase so you don't have to fight and negotiate and create an environment where it's adversarial and not have to do all these quote, difficult calculations to figure out people's retirement and their years and what their paycheck's going to look like. Just resolve the issue by treating people fairly. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's the system, and I think all of our systems are broken. It's not just education. Clearly, we could go down that path
Hmm.
today.
Well, no kidding. And there's system upon system. Yeah. What path are you talking about, Sharon?
Oh, politically, economically, medically, they're just
Mm.
every industry we've got is just totally messed up,
In the world situation. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So I had to fight tooth and nail to get my little pittance because, of course, I did not retire at 60. I didn't do the 60-30 magic numbers to get the ideal retirement. So every dollar was kind of important.
Right. And that gratefulness is still in play.
Well, because it just gives you freedom. I don't know how I found the time to work full time,
I hear you.
or 120%. There were a couple years I worked an
Wow.
extra class. And yeah.
That's what so many teachers say when they retire. It's like, I don't know how I did this. And this is at a time when you're not dealing with other elements of your life, like when you're just starting off in your career and you're learning your craft as well. But you're also trying to run your home, or maybe have a relationship, or maybe children, or all these things. You're at a place where you're supposedly a master in all of this. And how do you do it? I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. And I think about Tina, you had to deal with your parents dying and all of that while you were still working. I don't know how you got through that, you
I, you
know?
know, I just had this talk with a friend the other day, and honestly, I don't know either, except that I would I would tap dance, do my thing, and enjoy the classroom, and then I would think about, okay, I've got to go meet with attorneys after school today. And sometimes I would truly run into the bathroom and cry during my 15-minute break, and then come back out and pretend that it was all fine. And I don't know. I don't have any idea either.
Yeah,
I don't
as
either.
teachers,
And
we're really good at that, at compartmentalizing for sure.
Or
yes,
not,
yes,
and it comes at a toll. I mean, I
yeah,
think even when you are good at compartmentalizing, it takes this toll on your body, on your
yeah.
health, and then it could on your psyche as well, your emotional state. So yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
to anybody who's listening, this is how I truly saw the compartmentalizing. But it was truly, I would have this beautiful, like on soap operas or TV movies, you have the box with the lid. It's like this pre wrapped, beautiful box. And then you just pull off the bow, the
Hmm.
lid, and it just came off. And so I would think about how I would just put like my parents in one, my divorce in another. And then I had this glorious shelf. And so I'm like, okay, well, we're just going to put it in that cute little box, stick it up there, and we'll get to it later. So I truly had a visual for that one.
wow,
Yeah.
Well, that's what an artist would do. She's an artist, writer,
wow.
creator, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, it did. Yeah, it hit me. So I did go. You guys know we talked about the 4 stages of retirement, right?
Yes.
Could you
That,
recap for
that
us?
TED talk.
And yes,
Yeah.
recap for us.
Number one is vacation. Two is disillusionment. Three is trial and error. And four is contentment. And I went right into vacation, drinking probably a little bit more than I should have. Just was so happy. Not necessarily sleeping in. I still wake up very early with the dog, but just really enjoying life. And then it hit me in around October, November. Somebody took a picture of me, and I was like, "Oh my
Oh,
God, what happened to my body?" And realized it was, menopause, pandemic, and 27 years of teaching was lumped on that body. And so I thought I got to do something. So, and I always thought just walking the dog 3 miles a day was good enough, but no. So I did join a gym. The
wow.
West Sac has a really good rec center, and it's really cheap. It's like $30 a month, and
Ooh, that's great.
and you get classes. So I take a whole variety of classes every day. I walk to the gym. That's when I listen to you guys, your podcast,
Oh,
and then walk back. And so yeah, that really helped because teaching it totally takes a toll on your body and your mental. Um, but yeah, so I went into that phase. I went straight from like vacation to contentment. I have not been disillusioned at all. I
Oh,
haven't been bored or anything like that. I've tried and errored some things that was like, oh, I don't even think I need to do that. But for the most part, I just went straight to, okay, I like this routine and I like what I'm doing now. So, yeah.
my big question to you is, and that first year, I when I moved here, it was in the fall, and it took me another year. In that year before I started any business, anything, it was so uncomfortable not having a routine.
Mm,
And I want to know, how have you created a routine for yourself? Are you not a routine person? It sounds like you might be,
hmm
but how did you create it? And did you find that challenging?
No.
Oh,
The gym classes I take all in the morning. Some of them are like 7 a.m., some are 10. It just depends. And I mean, I don't know if you want to know all the activities, but
yeah, I do.
okay. Basically the big thing was joining the Renaissance Society at Sac State. And so they have further learning. It's all retirees who teach things and groups and things like that. So I'm in a walkabout group that's every Wednesday, which Peter has started as well because he retired
Oh,
in January. Um, I'm in 2 book clubs. They have classes on Fridays, and I've taken a soundtrack track of the movies class, American Revolution. Just you want to increase your knowledge and enjoy, and then I was a mentor. This is so funny. I was a senior citizen mentor
oh,
for a
are you kidding?
student. Yes. In a gerontology class. There's a professor, and she requires that each kid have a senior citizen to have 4 interviews, and they're really cool questions. I'll pass them along to you guys about aging, life, whatever, and then they have to write a paper about what you said. And it's just so weird. Again, like this setting, to have people listen to you and really appreciate what you're telling them.
Oh,
Um, so that was really great because it was good questioning. It really delved deep into, just the aging
Well,
thing.
and the generational stuff, I find that like it's fun. We have a friend whose son, who's our friend, has moved back home temporarily. Well, he just graduated from undergrad and is going to start his graduate stuff in the fall. And we have these great conversations because it's a whole generational difference. I mean, we got a lot in common, a lot we can talk about, but there's a lot of things that he's just totally not aware of, and there are a lot of things I'm just totally not aware of. It's so interesting.
it's a
Yeah.
win-win learning situation,
Absolutely.
actually.
And it's one where it's where you value who you're talking to. It's not just offhand. It's somebody it's a little deeper than just, a basic interaction.
Yeah. I mean, I do use the younger people. I have 2 nieces and some others,
Oh my
and
gosh, hold on, back up. How old are they now?
they're gonna be 27 in
Oh,
July. Yeah, crazy.
wow.
And then their cousins, my sister-in-law, that side, they're a little bit younger, but so a lot of the conversations with them are, I have to say, sometimes technology. Like you guys,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
trying to delete something from WhatsApp, I can't do it, and I'm pretty tech savvy after teaching through the pandemic,
right.
but
Right.
or okay, you guys explain why Sabrina Carpenter is so, awesome, or just, what are you guys listening for music, or just trying to get the pop culture, I guess, with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick
Yeah, go ahead.
question. Is there something great that you've been reading in your book club?
Yes. The Tuesday one is it's on Zoom. I'd rather meet with them, but it's okay.
Heck,
And it's
yeah.
actually been helpful when we were traveling. I was able to Zoom in, but we did James, that like every book club has done. We just did the Safe Keep,
Wait, when
which
you mean James, do you mean like
by
James Michener?
no, James by Percival Everett. It's kind of the Huckleberry Finn story, but
Oh.
from Jim's point of view.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like every book club is, yeah, reading it. And The safekeep, that it was a very interesting World War II, Amsterdam, post World War II, but there was just a lot of sex. And I was listening to it on audio because I had checked it out of the library, and I just kept, I wanted to fast forward through those. There
I
was a
said
lot.
Yeah, we are
one
getting
something that you
older.
liked,
But
and like so. Then when you said the sex, I'm like waiting to hear what you're gonna. Then you're like, I just fast forward for that. I didn't care about that
yeah,
stuff.
but there were some good twists. Yeah.
In the sex or
No, in the get your mind out of the gutter.
well, you went over that part very quickly, and I was thinking that was maybe what you were interested in. Okay.
But the other book club I'm in, they do authors. So it's called Partners in Crime. So we do mystery authors. And so you pick any books by that author. So I tend to give myself a lot of homework for that one. So we're doing Tana French on Thursday, and I'm almost done with the fourth book by her. And it really just expands your author, and I love mysteries. So that's been really interesting. And that meets in person, so that's
How did you find these groups?
that was through the Renaissance Society. So
Ah,
you
okay.
pay $120 a year, and you have access. You just sign up for any activities you want to do. Yeah, it's really cool.
That is really
Yeah.
cool.
So Sharon,
Yes.
when you came to the door, I noticed that you have like this scratch across your face.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't
So,
see it on here.
so can you tell us the reason why you have a scratch across your face?
So one of my goals was to start fostering dogs with my time
Oh,
off, and so I have been contributing to this nonprofit called Underdog Railroad, and
oh,
it's
oh, that's too cute.
yeah, and they pull dogs from high kill shelters and transport them to Montana, Utah, Oregon, I think, up north.
I thought you were meant driving, like they have a herd or they're
Well,
driving the
I
dogs.
mean, they pack that
Modern
van,
day.
full of dogs, and because it's just such a problem. The backyard breeder thing is such a problem here in California.
Yeah.
And
Still.
yeah, well, nobody's enforcing it. It's, and people just yeah. So I told her in January, I said, my husband is retired now and we're available. And so she contacted me one day and said, hey, can you meet this guy from the Stockton shelter? He'll be in the Sacramento area and we've got a dog for you. Sure. So we got this 9-week Frenchy Bulldog Terrier thing who was blind.
Oh,
And I know, and that actually wasn't his problem. He had Giardia. And so, and we had him for 10 days. And so you had to sleep on the couch and watch him because if he had diarrhea all the time and then he'd walk through it because he didn't see it. And so I
oh,
really had to
oh,
just watch him. And so we got good I was reading his body language and I'd take him out. So, I mean, I didn't sleep for 10 days because I was just constantly, but he was such a smart little dog. I called him Little Burrito Man because I'd wrap him like a burrito. Peter called him Poop Monkey, but, he was able to navigate the downstairs, the outside. He memorized pretty much the backyard. He was really a smart dog, and he had these bat ears that just, um, and he was adopted by a couple who have two pugs, rescue pugs in Utah. And that was kind of my thing too, was that they're already adopted. So there's no foster fail situation. I'm not going to become attached and think, oh, I should keep this dog. Um,
that would be a problem
yeah,
for you. Kind of
yeah,
like an addict, that could
yeah,
be a problem for you.
yes. And
So you had a safe way to do this. I'm proud of
exactly,
you.
yeah, yeah. It ticked all the boxes. And the person that vetted us is the German Shepherd rescue guy. And because I had told her, I said, do you want to check out our house? Obviously you don't know me from Adam. So
Or
she
Eve.
contacted him and he said, oh no, they're great. They've been adopting for me for decades. And just don't give her any shepherds because she'll want, she'll want. So she called us. When did she call us? Yeah. Saturday, Sunday? I don't know what day it is because, you're retired. And she said, "Can you foster two puppies to?" So yeah, now we have 11-week puppies. They're shepherd mixes. So
Oh,
adorable.
that's a little
Yeah,
dangerous.
but they're already adopted.
Okay.
So we got to keep them for 2 weeks, and then she'll transport them to their new home. So
So
yes, they have very sharp toenails, and yes, hence
so you
the
picked one
injury.
up to snuggle it like a burrito? Is that
Well,
what it
he's
is? And
kind
then the
of a
claw
chunk.
just kind of got out?
Yeah, he's kind of chunky, actually. I mean, they're beautiful little dogs. Yeah, and we were not going to name them, but I want to work on training them a little bit. So you kind of have to give them a name to
Yeah.
call them and sit and whatever. So
You could just call them boy and girl and,
we were calling them, yeah, puppy boy and puppy girl, but now it's Gentle Ben because he is
Oh,
just so gentle. And then the girl, Peter is calling Trouble, so we call her T, like the Music Man, capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for puppy.
well, that's a lot of energy to take of all the rescue kind of things you could be doing to take
true.
puppies that
That's true.
sorry, excuse me, at our age. Wow, that is
Gentle Sue.
well, I'm sorry. It's like it is raising a baby. It's a dog baby, and it's so
It
much
is.
energy. It's signing up for no sleep. That's a given. Um, yeah, I mean, it's obviously meaningful work and it's wonderful and beautiful and cute and all that. And I like the built-in security of no foster fail, but you're committing to no sleep. Okay.
Yeah,
So you're doing
yeah.
a lot of reading in between.
I'm trying, but you gotta watch them like a hawk because
Oh,
they'll
how do you
just
do
eat
that?
anything. Yeah.
Right.
But it's worthwhile. It really is. And we're a team. So Peter's, he's watching
I
the
love
dogs
that.
right now, and we have it's not a crate. We've got a big area where they can move around and whatnot. So, but it does make you realize that people don't need puppies. You don't need a puppy. Adopt an older dog. At least try to do rescue. Don't buy from breeders. It's like that is my hot ticket item.
And I'm gonna back you there because here I am with Gigi, the retired showgirl, and she was infertile from a breeder. They didn't want to feed her. She was in a kennel cage mostly all day, right? Unless she was out training. And I love it because she came pre-trained. She sits, stays, does it. I didn't have to do anything except tell her to come and kiss her. Like it is the best thing ever. And you know the
Mm.
personality you're getting. And I knew exactly what I needed. And I just recommend to everybody if you must have a breed, because there's a dog you've always dreamed of, and for me it was her, the Great Dane, go get one that you know the personality you want, and then you can really like
Yeah.
interview the dog. I don't know, I just can't say enough, like getting a used dog is the best.
Yeah. Well, and there are rescues. There are French bulldog rescues out there. And, the first one we got, Burrito Man, he was dropped off at a shopping parking lot. That's where he was found. And
How do
because
people
the
do that?
backyard breeder probably thought, oh, he's blind and he's not going to sell well or whatever. And so he was just found in a parking lot. He was a really sweet dog, I gotta say. But yeah, you don't need puppies because they
Yeah,
grow pretty quickly, and then all of a sudden you have an adult.
it's
So
so
I mean, it's
fast.
yeah,
Yeah,
preaching to the
totally.
choir. Yeah,
Uh,
what can you do? You can't save them all, but you can save
right,
as many
you
as you
can
can
you can do
within
what you
reason.
do, it's true. And for me, I guess I feel a little bit like I didn't rescue her, but when I think about her quality of life, I mean, come on. She sleeps on the bed with me. The couches are her day beds. We go on walks every day. She eats amazing food. Like we do everything together. We go to the ocean and the mountains and the whole thing. So, anyway,
Yeah,
compared to a kennel.
living a good life. Absolutely. Yeah, and
Oh,
what they give you. No, I mean, I probably would be 10 pounds heavier if I didn't have
yes.
Huey.
Yep. And
You know?
sadder. I would be sad without my baby.
And sadder. Absolutely.
Okay, well, what did you want to say about Sarita?
Oh, my credentials, they expire in 2 years, and I really grappled with that. Again, it's, oh, what if I, need to go back into teaching, or, that fear or something. And then I heard Sarita's podcast, and I was just, yeah, I'm out. Yeah, do not need to do that.
Yeah, there's that part of you. You've invested so much in your education and everything. You don't want things to lapse. But how are you doing? Are you between you and your husband retired? You probably are doing okay.
We're fine.
Yeah.
But you get a little paranoid,
Well,
you know?
when you're younger too, and you feel uh, fit and able, and you have memories of the beginning of your career where it was maybe a little bit more manageable, you have this vision in your mind. But then the reality of it slaps you in the face. And why would you want to subject yourself to something like what Sarita described, which is just the same thing that I'm hearing from other colleagues that are still trying to do this profession.
Yeah. And it has changed. Sarita was right. I mean, we started seeing it after the pandemic, and yeah.
I have a friend up here, Sharon. She's teaching second grade and fourth grade. She's at the school that I graduated from when I was
Oh,
little.
wow.
And listening to her, it just every time she opens her mouth, I'm like, yep, glad I quit. Yep,
Wow.
glad I quit. And this is a unwealthy, uneducated environment. So you have truancies all the time, 25%, parents uninvolved. It's depressing, really.
Is it true? I might have seen it on Facebook or something, but that 300,000 teachers have left the profession. Is that in the US? I would assume it's the US. That can't be.
It sounds like it.
Ooh.
Wow.
Um, yeah.
And there's a shortage. I mean,
Yeah. And people left from the immersion program, at my school just this year.
Wow.
and
Yeah.
that's even with a little bit of increases. Get back to the original thing that I
Wow,
said
that says
about
so much.
if you just did cost of living and didn't have to deal with all the crud of that, the profession is massively underpaid. And I think back on my career and how I feel resentful about being so undervalued, and it does that affects your feelings about your profession. I mean, it doesn't affect the day to day and interacting with kids, and the joy and the incredible art of teaching is so much fun. Um, but that element just it's nagging in the back of your in the back of your mind. I mean,
And I think if I had felt a little bit more valued, or because you really are so by yourself,
You are.
in
It's
your
so
classroom.
lonely.
But if I had felt more valued, I might have stayed on a couple more years.
yeah.
But it just, nothing ever changed. And my whole thing was class sizes. Please just give us
Okay.
less, class. And it never happened. I was like, okay.
So this is what I was going to say. In fact, the little stint I did at the high school up here,
Right.
where I was hired on for the 3 jobs,
Yeah.
they eliminated the 2. They siphoned them off to other people. And the lady that was my aide ended up stepping up to get an emergency credential to teach 6 classes. So
Oh
she
my
gave up her
God.
prep, first year teaching, getting an emergency, 40 kids in a class.
Wow.
That to me is
How do you even
abuse.
fit that is
It's
fire code.
abuse.
Fire code doesn't allow you to have that many
No.
people in a room.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was my room that had no
Wow.
windows and no air conditioning, and where I got COVID for the first time.
And oh boy. And was that 100% for her, or was that 120%?
120.
So, I mean, it's nice for retirement and it's nice for salary, but it's not worth your mental health and physical
But
health.
what I was going to say is about what you were saying, Sue, and back to Sharon. I would rather have made the money I made, which was nothing because I didn't have a master's, but I would rather that we all got paid less, had smaller class sizes, had more support for the students, funnel into special ed properly so that those kids are actually getting services that will help, not
Mhm.
just look good on paper.
Yeah.
Because I think that was one of the things that hurt the most, was seeing all these kids that were extremely behind that were getting 30 minutes of service, or they put in an aide. They're at second grade level. I'm teaching the pre-algebra to a 6th grader, but they can't add and subtract, but we're all pretending that they're going to get this algebra lesson.
Right.
I think that's where I would rather see funds and get counseling. really beef up the counseling system, because if we can get them mentally in order, they will do better in the classroom.
Mhm.
So I would prefer that we had money towards support.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. And it's so incredibly wrong that teachers would be willing to take less money, even with what you're saying, an actual system where it's working and it's right for students and it's student centered and needs centered. They should be paid more because they're so incredibly underpaid as a professional. You go into any other profession that requires the same levels of education, the commitment level is there or higher because it's very interpersonal. There's no reason in hell that teachers should be paid less.
I would agree. But my thing is, Sue, where are we going to get the money from? And no matter how much
Hello.
Elon Musk, of course.
Let's value education. Let's value students. Let's value women. Let's value health and mental health as well. Let's value our people rather than pay exorbitant monies and taxes and so forth to the wealthy. No, hello, no.
Well, you're saying that we can somehow get the money, but yet we're trillions of dollars in debt. So I'm not sure.
It's
Sue.
called revolution.
It's called Let's Not Have a Parade and give all that money.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
so many ways we as teachers
my God, it's
could
so
organize
true.
the money a little bit differently.
Yeah. I have to admit, I agree with Sue. I wouldn't give up my salary to fund counseling sources or whatever. I don't think that's a sacrifice I'd be willing.
Maybe we don't have to. You're
Yeah,
right. But
well-
I just feel like if money's not possible, then I don't know.
Money
Yeah,
is
I hear what you're
possible. It's
saying.
all out there. It's everywhere except in the working class people's pocketbook.
Yeah. And I think we just need to dismantle the entire system and then
Amen.
look at Finland. I mean, Finland has always been
Sharon!
up there, and we need to emulate what they're doing.
Why
Oh,
don't
the-
you run? Why don't you run for president?
Oh, that means that we need to become
I'll
a
vote for
country
you.
the size of Finland. That I hear is a good solution for the seating
agree.
of California from our union.
Well, Gavin and I could run together.
Could you?
We did go to the same high school.
And Gavin would be on. It would
Look
just
him
bring the
up!
name and the power. You would be on the top of the ticket. So
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah. I could work with Gavin. Actually, I didn't know him. He was a year ahead of me, but I did have a friend who
That's so cool.
had speech with him. And he did apparently he wore suits every day to high school.
Oh,
And
that's
he was
cool.
really good at speeches. And so, yeah. So look what he's doing now. Pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It could go south really fast. Yeah.
We're just never going to be able to, solve issues. I mean, when I first heard that the Department of Ed, that they were dismantling it and stuff, my first reaction was, well, they've obviously helped special ed and loans for students and that kind of thing. But what else, what have they been doing for me as a teacher in a classroom, And so I thought maybe that's not such a bad idea.
Me
Maybe we
too.
need to look at that
Me too.
and start from the ground up. But I
Me
don't,
too.
chainsawing it is not the answer, So it's got to be a little bit more deliberate.
Thought out.
Yes, exactly.
Like a nice little lesson plan in place. Like this is
Yes.
what will happen and how we'll transition.
Yes, these are
Yeah.
our goals and our standards and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
And how are we going to assess it?
yeah. But everything I hear about Finland sounds great. But they have a lot smaller of a population, so I don't know how we would do
Well, what I'm really understanding is just by having all of our different states that all have their own different rules.
that. Mm,
There isn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every state is different. And Finland is Finland.
that's true. Yeah, you're right.
And there's so many states that would not go into the Finland model. So
Yeah.
it's almost like we would have to become an independent state and have complete autonomy and just focus on this
Right.
and hope it would spread.
Exactly. And is the
You
car
know?
fixed yet?
Do you guys, this is a sad story. So Maria's friends, childhood friends, one's a teacher and the other one's a nurse, but they both gave up to do the tourist industry in order to make more money. They have a son, and this son worked in a government store, like a government tourist store. And one of the workers had been taking things and selling it in the black market and turned around and blamed their son,
Oh my God.
who is indeed innocent. Like, these are good people. They are starting to do an investigation, and it's 5 to 10 years in prison.
Oh my God.
So he got on a plane. He found out about this on Friday. There is no such thing as attorneys and going to court. The government has deemed you guilty, and therefore it's just a matter of how long are you going to be in jail.
Wow.
There is no court. So he literally had his mom was Mexican, but somehow had a Spanish, I don't know, thing too. So he is on the plane, probably never to see his family again unless they leave, to go to Spain so he doesn't have to go to jail for a crime he did not commit and will not have a
Wow.
trial for.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm in shock.
I am too. I was too. I know him.
Crazy.
Like, that's the worst part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what Maria did yesterday. She took the whole family to the airport and they all cried goodbye, because if they never leave Cuba, can you imagine never seeing your son again? Because it's going to be, when he comes back in, he could risk at that time then doing jail time.
Right.
Ugh. Anyway. Yeah.
But the decision not to flee would have dire consequences too.
Yep.
So that's the best choice.
That's a tough decision.
Yep.
Well, that's like the Peter Pan program in the 50s, 60s from Cuba.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, you learned a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, there were, I think, about 14,000 kids that were sent. Most of them reunited with their, with their parents, but there were some that didn't. But it was like 95%, but they were separated for a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Formative years.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
shapes you. Well, meanwhile, we have a friend who's gotten his UK citizenship, and he's moving his family over to the UK because of stuff going on here. It's like everybody's just pulling roots.
Well, thank you, Sharon. Yeah, keep in
Thank you.
touch.
Yeah, I will leave you with one thought, which I told my gerontology student was
Oh, please.
because he said, like, after all's been said and done, all these interviews and stuff, what are your parting words of wisdom? And I really had a hard time with that, but then I thought, do good in your little corner of the world.
Oh,
You don't have to
thank
do
you.
a
That's
big thing,
beautiful.
right? But in your little, yeah.
That echoes what I heard with an interview with
Beautiful.
Elizabeth Warren, who just said recently, the action. I mean, you got to take action right now. So take action in something that matters to you. Be vocal, be loud, and say all the things. That's authentic. That's real. So this is how you resist and persist.
Yep.
So.
Yep. She's inspirational.
Love it.
Thanks for listening. Now let's pack up this week's episode in the trunk.
Ride shotgun and be a part of our adventure by clicking on the plus sign to subscribe and follow our show. This will help our ratings and, more importantly, inspire us to keep creating fun and engaging content. We would love to hear from you in the comments sections or email us at retiredpodcastnewtread@gmail.com. Use the fast track lane by sharing episodes with friends, family, and anyone who would like to join us on our road trip through Re-tirement.
Be sure to check the show notes for links and contact information. Retired is chauffeured by Sue Britz and Tina Lokkbakk. It is produced, directed, and edited by me, Sue Britz. Music and graphics are by me, too. Buckle up and tune in next week so that you won't miss your chance to join our retired road trip. That was fun.